Up next on Sports Paws, the rugby team has been dominant all season long despite not playing a single home game. Could they continue it against Notre Dame College?
Plus, the volleyball team continues its historic season with weekend matches against Iona and Manhattan. How did they do? We got you covered.
And field hockey flew to Lynchburg, Virginia to face Liberty in the team's second Big East game ever. Did the Bobcats come away with a win?
And as always, we have the top 5 plays of the week. Sports Paws starts right now.
6, 5, 4, 3. Good evening and welcome to another episode of Sports Paws. I'm Dylan Fearon.
And I'm Chris Dacey. We have a jam-packed show for you tonight filled with highlights, interviews, touchscreens, and of course, top 5 plays.
That's right, Chris. A lot of excitement surrounding the volleyball team. The field hockey team is in the heart of Big East play. But first, we start with rugby. Becky Carlson's squad won the national championship last year and has continued its dominance this season. The Bobcats won't play a single home game this season. Our own Victoria Tigliano shows us why Quinnipiac will be playing all of their games outside of Hamden.
Outscored its opponents by more than 140 points this season. The Quinnipiac women's rugby team is clearly a powerhouse on campus. But what's the one thing it's missing? A home field of its own.
I think the biggest difficulty is not having a regulation field. So even during practice, we're grateful for what we're given, but at the same time it is hard to take day-by-day practice into a game situation when we're not given a field big enough for us to practice on.
The rugby team currently practices on the former soccer practice field, a field that's 10 yards too short on either side. While this size difference could affect some teams, junior Alona Marr said it's an adjustment they've just had to get used to.
Even in games, sometimes we've had problems of not getting the ball out wide enough because, in practice all we're doing is getting it out to that certain amount, which is the size of our field. So it's taking a lot of adjustment, from going from practice to the games and knowing that, oh wow, we have so much more room now.
While the field the team is playing on is clearly less than ideal, with the width not being regulation size, head coach Becky Carlson said this is just another chapter in the team's story.
We always have some type of adversity that's attached to our story. And right now, the points aren't the adversity, the other teams aren't that adversity. Right now, this is part of our story. So I think it makes our team more compelling. I think it makes it more interesting, and I think that the fact that we do have a level of adversity each year is something that our team has become accustomed to. So it's kind of like a movie. It's a well-scripted movie where we can just kind of roll with it and keep pushing through and put points on the board, and people are saying, wow, they didn't even have a home field. And that's kind of what I've said to the team. Look at this as part of your story.
This story has been going on for 6 years. So what's it like trying to get future players to come to this school when there's no home field to show the prospective students?
It's a difficult sell, it really is. And success is a big thing, but we all know that when you come to a facility or you come to a college and you take a visit, you want to see what the facilities look like. We're going right now on our reputation, our unity within the team, and the belief in our staff and our players.
Next season, the team hopes to have a field of its own on the former soccer field, so QU fans can come watch the team play. This is Victoria Rutigliano, Q30 Sports.
Thanks, Victoria. The Bobcats defeated Notre Dame College in Pittsburgh by a score of 30-5 on Saturday. Senior fullback Maggie Miles got the Bobcats rolling with a pair of tries in the first half.
Bobcats were very strong on the defensive side once the Falcons got near the Quinnipiac goal line. Caroline Plowman and Carrie Helgerson were key on the defensive front to hold Notre Dame to just 5 points. Bobcats have a well-deserved bye week before facing Brown on the road.
And now to the volleyball team, who is also having a very successful season. The Bobcats are on a 3-game winning streak as they travel to Siena for a big MAC matchup. The team swept the Saints 3-0, led by freshman Natalie Alego, who had 14 kills, and while Alexandra Rodriguez added 21 digs. This is a big win for the Bobcats, as they have beat Siena for the top time. They have beaten Siena for the first time in the MAC for years. The last time the Saints were third. Last year, the Saints were third in the conference. The year before, they won the conference tournament. Here's some post-game Twitter reactions from the Quinnipiac volleyball team account. It's been a great season so far for the Bobcats, but Dylan, can they continue it against Iona?
Let's find out, Chris. Quinnipiac's posting an 11-5 record, taking on the Iona Gales on Burcon Court. Bobcats would keep their winning streak and their set streak alive as Quinnipiac sweeps Iona 3-0. Seniors Allison Lee led the charge with 9 kills, while Alejandra Rodriguez had 10 digs. Quinnipiac improves to 12-5 and ties its Division I record with 5 straight wins. The next day they took on the Manhattan Jaspers. Chris, what went down?
Well, Dylan, the volleyball team had another sweep as they defeated the Jaspers in straight sets right here in Hamden. This was a 6th straight win for the Bobcats and the 4th sweeping of its opponent. Sophomore Jen Coffey and junior Elizabeth Cluse each gathered 12 kills, while freshman Maria Pansari led the offense with 40 assists. The Bobcats will be in action next weekend when the teams face Canisius and Niagara at home.
Chris, the Bobcats have been rolling, and it may be in part to the hiring of assistant coach Chad Davis. Davis comes to Hamden after having lots of success coaching the Gainesville Juniors Volleyball Club in Florida. Q30's Josh Silverman sat down with Davis to talk about the transition from high school volleyball to the college game. Josh?
You just transitioned from high school to the college level. What has been the biggest difference so far?
I think at first it was just getting used to the speed of how fast it moves. I was very fortunate to coach very high level in high school with the numerous Division I players actually in club volleyball, which is the same, but it was just adapting a little bit to the speed the first couple of games, and then once I got a handle on that, I started feeling extremely comfortable. And so I'd probably just say the speed of it, some of the different tactical things are a little more advanced than some of what you see in high school. But it was, after I said, after the first week, really the first weekend of the tournament games that we played, I felt super comfortable, and now I got a good feel for it, so I feel really good about the transition.
And it's no secret, this team has made a massive turnaround, going from winning 1 combined conference game the last 2 years to you guys have already won 3 and haven't even lost. You beat Siena, and they were 2-0, you guys were 2-0. What is the biggest factor to your winning success?
Well, I think, the direction Coach Chris is pushing this team in, I think the biggest thing that's, and this is not speaking for him, but getting, from our talks is that obviously the team's way more cohesive. They actually play like a team, act like a team. He did a tremendous job recruiting in some really great freshmen that are playing and having a huge role. And the veteran kids are doing an awesome job. So the biggest difference, I think, is the way the kids approach the game, the training, their technical side, what they're able to process in game plans. They're doing a great job. But probably I'd say just, it sounds simple, but them becoming a team, working together, learning how to work hard, and then wanting to achieve a goal. When you've always lost, it's easy to fall in that trap of believing you're going to lose. Well, now they're starting to believe in themselves and believing they're going to win, and that's a huge reason of why this team's being so successful right now.
Thanks, Josh. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Dylan and I will help fill you on what's going on with both the field hockey and the soccer teams.
Plus, our own MJ Baird and John Franklin show us how and why Chris Yakovitis won the starting job as the men's soccer goalie. Stay with us.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Paws.
In the end, we're here to win a championship this year.
Jess Fontaine now has that. She's going to take a ripper off the post, but she's going to come back.
And my number 1, hold your applause, Bobcats fans, is Quinnipiac.
All right, Victoria, you know what time it is. It's top 5 plays of the week.
My favorite time.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. The field hockey team just started Big East play after an 0-6 start to the season. Bobcats defeated Georgetown in their inaugural Big East game 4-2 behind 2 goals from Michelle Federico. To break down the game, we sent it to Pat Pitts and MJ Bird, who are by the touchscreen. Guys?
Let's talk a little field hockey here. We're going to break down some plays for you. This footage again from Quinnipiac's inaugural Big East game. They played against Georgetown. I take it you were at the game?
I was actually calling the game, MJ, doing a little color commentary.
All right, so this game is fresh in your mind. Take me through some plays, Pat.
Yeah, MJ. So this was the first of many, penalty corners throughout the day. So we're going to just start here. Quinnipiac has, the penalty corner. Play the clip here. So watch this. Martinez is going to pass it over, but then let's see where she goes. She's not going towards the, players. She's going, pencil here. She's going towards the net. She's going like in the slot. And why she does that, she wants to see the play develop. She stays right here, tries to see what she needs to do to get the play going. So we just hit here.
Yep, back to the mouse.
And we'll watch the play. So then, it gets stopped by the defender, but look, she comes back and slams it home for a goal. MJ, let's just take a little, go back on that, just see how that developed right here.
Right, so the Georgetown goalie or the defenders made the initial stop, but as you said, Martinez in the right place at the right time.
Martinez just right place, right time. She was just like, she's there to be a stopper, and when she did that, she stays right here, gets the ball, perfect in her position. The mouse, and we saw here, slams it home for a nice Johnny Rocket.
All right, so Pat, that's our first Quinnipiac goal. Now show me the second.
Yeah, this is Michelle Federico. There's not a lot of set up play, but this is one of her 2 goals on the day. She just had a great game as well. Coming up the field, just really rushing, attacking offense, and she goes by the defender. We saw the nice toe drag, and then but watch here. There's a rule in field hockey, and it is you cannot score beyond this arc right here.
Start goes all the way around.
It goes all the way around.
Semicircle.
And yeah, she's slamming it. She's trying to get in front of the net, but that leaves this player right here. She's staying in front, so she can either get a tap in or just something going. And that was really what Quinnipiac's game plan was the whole day. It worked out for MJ for the big win.
Again, she's in the right place. She's looking for the ball. As you see when this play does play through. She doesn't need to touch the ball because it does go in, but she was right there, had the ball come to her.
Exactly, and that was Quinnipiac's just game plan all day, was just getting the ball in front of the net, and they did that so well, with Federico scoring, Martinez, it was just a great offensive day for Quinnipiac.
Thanks a lot, guys. Great insight as always. For the next test for the field hockey team came in a few days later in Lynchburg, Virginia against Liberty. A consistent top 30 team in the country, but could the Bobcats upset the Flames? Let's find out. Burning down in flames. Here we go. Liberty, number 30, Rachel Suter sends the ball in and is tapped in by number 18, and Judah Maroney redirects in for the goal. Here we go. She's going to send it in, and it redirected right there. It is 1-0 Liberty on top. Then later on in the first half, we have a Liberty penalty quarter pass from Abby Julius, who scores from the top of the circle. Here we go. And there she goes, right in there. It is now 2-0 Liberty.
It's getting too easy for the Flames there, Chris.
Yes. Second half here, we have the ball bounces around in the box, who falls to Serena Barr, who scores here, and it's now 4-1 Liberty, or 6-1 here. All right. Now on to the men's soccer team as they traveled down to New York to take on St. John's. The Bobcats escaped with a 1-0 win against the Red Storm. Junior defender William Pastore scored the lone goal of the game with 12 minutes left in the contest. It was also his first goal as a Bobcat as well. Next up for the teams, the first MAC game against Niagara. Dylan, how did the Bobcats do?
Well, Niagara hasn't scored since September 9th. They haven't won since August 26th, and Quinnipiac's at home. They're the clear favorite, but did they come away with the points? 8 minutes in, James Doherty's got a free kick, the captain. He sends it in, trying to find a head. No can do. That one's way wide. A couple of minutes after that, another free kick for Doig. This one's going to cause a little bit of trouble for goalie Steve Casey. Fumbles the ball there, but he's got it. And then 30 minutes into the first half, this is the first Bobcats' real chance of the game. Max Rothenbucher tries to send it in. Doig's going to send it in. It comes back to Rothenbucher, who sends it in again to Maddie Taylor. And Taylor's volley is Very easy for Casey. Still 0-0. Later in the first half now, Niagara's first real chance of the game. Cross is going to come in, and that's way up front. That was a field goal right there, but no points there. We go to overtime, and in overtime, the free kick's going to deflect off Max Rothenbuger. Chris Yakovidis went the opposite way, and look at the face of Connor McCoy of Quinnipiac. That was all the Quinnipiac players. They're heartbroken in their first MAC game of the season. So Chris, as I said, they lose their first conference game of the season, but let's talk about freshman goalie Chris Yakovidis from Greece. He won the starting job this season, but how and why? MJ Baird comes back with Johnny Franklin to break down a segment we call Between the Pipes. Guys?
First one.
Welcome to the Quinnipiac soccer field. I'm MJ Baird, John Franklin. Today, John, I'm excited to be out here.
MJ, I am ecstatic to be back out on the pitch. First time since high school, I'm throwing the boots back on, man.
Okay, all right, getting ready for that. So, John, we're going to talk a little bit today about the men's soccer team, their goaltending situation. You got Chris Yakovidis. He's the freshman from Greece. And then you got Brian Westerman, the senior. So, Eric DaCosta had a little decision to make here, and especially in non-conference play at the beginning of the year, we weren't exactly sure which goaltender we were going to see, but ultimately, Yakovidis gets the position. So you're going to act as him for the day, show us a little what we're going to do.
Absolutely going to show you what Yakovidis did well, how he got the job. I'm very excited to show you guys. I'm going to go throw on the boots, throw on the mitts. I'll catch you in a bit.
I'll grab a ball, put on some sneakers, so let's go. All right, John, happy to be back, kid.
Oh, I'm so excited, MJ. Got the mitts on, got the boots on, man. I'm ready to break down some plays.
Yeah, you were able to hold up your end of the bargain, John, but the best I was able to get was a volleyball, so that'll have to work.
It's going to do for now, my friend.
All right, let's talk about the first play you want to break down.
Yeah, let's break it down right away. Chris Yakovidis comes in net. They're playing Yale. Really key for a freshman to get into coming out of the net, getting aggressive, and that's exactly what he did. We're going to break it down right now for you. All right, MJ, so he comes here. He's at his line. And Yale is going to be up in midfield there. I'll walk with you.
Okay, let's do it.
Yale's going to be up in midfield, and they're going to dribble right into Quinnipiac's half of the field, and they're going to play a through ball. Really nice through ball here from Yale. It gets through two defenders. It's going to put a Yale attackman right on Yakovidis' net. He does a really good job. I'm going to show you what most goaltenders have trouble doing in this situation. I'm going to get to my line here. Excuse me. Get to my line. You roll the ball, and here's the through ball. Most goalkeepers get caught here. They don't know whether or not to come out, stay back, and they get caught halfway, leaving all this for an attack. That's licking their chops for an attackman right there. But Yakovidis makes this decision. He stays on his line. He sees the ball come in, and without hesitation, bang. He runs out, and he slides in at the feet of the Yale attackman, excuse me. Really nice play from Yakovidis. He didn't get to hold on to the ball, but definitely prevented a goal in that situation. That's why I think DaCosta makes the move and has Yakovidis in net. That's one of the main reasons. His ability to come off the line, his ability to get aggressive. You know, goaltenders, they gotta get aggressive. They're not the only ones that have to stay back, make those decisions, but their decisions are key.
That's one of those decisions, John, it seems like for a goaltender is kind of, hard to make. It's a split-second decision. You got to make it right in your head right as the play happens in front of you.
Oh yeah, there's no hesitation. You can't make that because it's all about angles. We talked about it before this. You got to figure out, oh, am I going to stay on my line? Am I going to widen up and try to have a shot come at me? Or am I going to not let a shot happen at all? Or is the forward going to come in? Is he going to take a touch? Is the forward going to come in and not take the touch at all? Great decision from Yakovidis to come off his line and make a really nice play there.
All right, John, you got two more plays for us. Let's see one more, all right?
All right, here's the big one.
Thanks a lot, guys. To watch the full version, check out our website at q30television.com. The women's soccer team also faced Niagara this past weekend, which was its fourth straight road game. Bobcats were on a two-game losing streak heading into the matchup against the Purple Eagles. Just like the previous two games, this one ended in a loss for the Bobcats. Quinnipiac struggled to get anything going offensively, which is why they have struggled in the past. Niagara scored 2 goals in less than 2 minutes in the first half and added a third midway through the second half to win 3-0. Bobcats fall to 0-2 in MAC play, and next up is a home battle with Fairfield on Wednesday. And now we're going to bring in Maury Hirschgordon to talk some fall sports teams. Maury, I know you got some rankings ready. What do you got?
Well, Dylan, Chris, thanks for having me on. Yes, guys, so far It is, the end of September, so we've had a decent sample size of the 7 fall sports here on the Quinnipiac campus. So let's take a look. At the top, edging out volleyball, I have women's rugby. They're 4-0. They have been thumping teams. I'm going to get back to them in just a minute. Women's rugby at 1. Volleyball at 2. They've had the most wins in their Division I program history. They're 13-5. Whoever would have thought that coming from Chris Saplinski's squad. At 3, men's cross country, Brennan Copley leads a dominant squad that has an opportunity to grab national attention in Indiana and in Florida for pre-nationals, as well as the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Championships on October 15th and October 29th, respectively. At number 4 is women's cross country. No, Neve Ash has not ran so far, but that team's going to be, again, top of the MAC right when she comes back. At number 5, I have field hockey, a team that's 1-1 in the Big East. Yes, a tough loss like you guys just had there on the highlight to Liberty, but a team that could make the Big East playoffs in its inaugural year. And at number 6, I have men's soccer. Tough loss to Niagara at home, 0-1 in the conference. But I like the segment by MJ and John Franklin. Chris Yakovitis, a big-time part of that team to their success. And at number 7 is women's soccer, 0-2 in the MAC. They've lost 3 straight.
More, I just want to get an explanation here. How come volleyball's at 2 with its best season in Division I history at 13-5? And how come men's soccer, who just beat St. John's on the road, is below field hockey, who started 0-6?
Well, Dylan, women's rugby is undefeated, and they just won the national championship. So they've had a target on their back. They've outscored their opponents by over 35 points a game. That's unheard of. Scores like 44-0, 64-3, 30-5. They're outscoring their opponents 143-27 on the year. They go back to Providence, where they won the national championship. We'll see if they can take care of Brown. They already beat Army, who they lost to last year, and then they have a matchup against Central Washington. If they win those 2, they are the undisputed best team here on campus. And men's soccer right now just isn't cutting it for me. Field hockey had a great opening game against Georgetown. They made a statement in the Big East. And they're a team, like I said, looking to go to the playoffs in their first year.
Maury, I think I know the answer to this, but what's your surprise team this season?
I'm going to have a tie for that. It is both rugby and volleyball. I'll start with volleyball first. They are 13-5, 5-0 in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, but they've beaten up on the bottom half of the conference zone, which is good because they haven't faced teams like Marist and Fairfield yet, who are both undefeated. They've beaten teams like Ryder, St. Peter's, Siena. This upcoming weekend, they face a little top-notch team in Niagara and Canisius. They're moving up the standings before they finish with Marist and Fairfield, 2 of their final 3 games of their long homestand. Here at home, this team is rolling in Burke Con. They're loving those new lights.
Maury, appreciate the time. Thanks as always.
Guys, thanks for having me on.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, women's tennis took on Army and men's tennis faced Yale, plus top 5 plays. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Paws.
In the end, we're here to win a championship this year.
Jess Fontaine has that. She's going to take a ripper off the post, but she's going to come back.
And my number 1, hold your applause, Bobcats fans, is Quinnipiac.
All right, Victoria, you know what time it is. It's top 5 plays of the week.
My favorite time.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike's sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. It's September, but there is still hockey in Hamden this weekend as the women's ice hockey team took on the University of Guelph in its only exhibition of the year. Bobcats made mincemeat of Guelph as sophomore Melissa Samoskevich scored 2 goals and added an assist in Quinnipiac's 6-1 win. Bobcats are ranked 4th in the country and start the regular season against Maine on Friday and Saturday.
The USCHO.com preseason poll came out on Friday, and the Bobcats received their highest ranking in school history. Taking the first spot, however, is defending champions North Dakota, followed by Quinnipiac in the second spot. The third ranking belongs to Denver. Boston University took the 4th spot, and then Boston College rounds out the top 5. The Bobcats have their first home game against McGill on October 1st.
Excitement for the women's tennis team this weekend as the Bobcats played very well at the West Point Invitational. Senior Rachel Horton and freshman Layla Rodriguez both won their singles championships in their consolation bracket. On the doubles sides, Horton and senior Sydney Young won their match against the St. Bonaventure team, 6-3. The Bobcats take the court again on October 4th when they face UConn in Stores.
The men's team just came 1 win away from a championship this weekend as the Bobcats competed in the Connecticut State Championships. Freshmen Austin Yanone and Axel Stern advanced all the way to the doubles final, but fell to Fairfield 6-3. It's a quick turnaround for the Bobcats. The Quinnipiac Invitational is this weekend, and Fordham and UConn and Fairfield are among the others to be expected to attend.
Golf traveled to New Hampshire this weekend to play in the Dartmouth Invitational. The Bobcats finished in 8th place out of 14 teams. The Bobcats' top golfer was Estefania Morales, who finished in 25th place out of 78 golfers. Boston College took home the team title with St. John's in 2nd. Next up, the Quinnipiac Classic in 2 weeks. And now, Chris, it's time for the best part of the show, Top 5 Plays of the Week, presented by B&D Deli, home of the Q Burger. I got the odds, Chris. You take the evens.
All right, let's get it.
Coming in at number 5, we start at Burcon Court for volleyball. Maria Pansari is going to set out of the middle to Kat Miller. Watch these hops, Chris. Whoo! Gets it right over for the kill. Yes. Volleyball beats Manhattan 3-0 in straight sets.
And at number 4, we have Melissa Samovich's pass out in front to TT in front, who finds the back of the net. And that is the Bobcats scoring, and led by the Bobcats scoring this season, and the Bobcats will win this one.
Staying at 3, we're on the ice still. Danielle Marmer's going to dangle past the defender right to Samoskevich for the wide open goal. Quinnipiac destroys Guelph 6-1.
And coming in at number 2, number 30, Rachel Suter receives the pass off the penalty corner and appears to shoot behind the backdrop. Passes to number 10, Abby Julius, and winds up the score. Liberty beats Quinnipiac 6-1.
And at number 1, it was a deflection, but still a huge goal for Niagara as they needed their first MAC win of the season. Quinnipiac distraught as the Bobcats lose 1-0. Chris, great top 5 plays this week.
Yes.
That's all the time we have tonight. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Q30 Sports and Q30 Television.
And don't forget to visit our website at www.q30television.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Q30TV. For Dylan Fearon, I'm Chris Dacey. Have a great night.